Hi, once again, this is Brother Teacher. Now I have my focus together, I hope, and I want to share something with you. One thing about me that I pride myself on is, number one, I am independent and I am indeed an individual. And the other thing is, I'm a realist. I am so much a realist that I believe that today, the world in which we live has been continuing to change throughout all of our lives. I wanted to say my life, yes, my life, but all of our lives. Insofar that it is getting worse every single day, every week, every month, and every year. And I believe that we must be prepared for the eventuality, the inevitability of our lives changing so drastically that it could potentially take us away from here because of some power that wants to have complete control over all humanity. I sort of stumbled through that, but I'm sure you're getting what I'm saying. We live in a matrix that was not just simply a movie. It's true. And the people who actually rule and run the world are controlling every aspect of our lives. And if you care anything about yourself and your family, your children and your grandchildren and your potential great-grandchildren, it will behoove you right now to start preparing for things to collapse around you. So, I have a list of things that you should always have on hand or ready access to in the event, and it's coming, that things go awry, they go wrong. 18 things or items needed for survival in an emergency. These are not the only 18 things that you need. There are some other things. There's plenty other things, but these are some of the core things that you need to make sure that you have. And I'm going to go through these, and I'll be done, and I'll be out of your way. All you have to do is just use some common sense. All right? Number one, water. I'm sure you know how important water is, not only for bathing but for life, drinking. We need to have water. 3 to 4 days of water or without water, we can't survive beyond that. We are going to die without water after 3 to 4 days of being absent in our bodies. Okay, number 2, canned goods. We know the canned goods are the last thing on our list as it relates to food under ordinary circumstances. I usually tell people that when you're buying fresh produce, the best thing to do is to take it from the garden first, in terms of the best quality, right from the garden. That's number 1. Number 2 would be frozen. And number 3 would be canned goods, in terms of the value that you're going to be receiving. Because once you get to the canned goods, you're going to have a lot of sodium and then some other chemicals possibly inside that can, that sealed can. But under extreme emergencies, when the grid goes down, or when you have to survive and canned goods is all you have, and plus they last for years, that's what you want to go with. So number 1 was water. Number 2 are going to be your canned goods, and of course you want a can opener or a P38, which is a military type can opener. Number 3, flashlights. You have to see where you're going. If you're moving around in the night, you need a reliable heavy duty flashlight like a police mag light or what have you. And you want the batteries as well. Some strong batteries, not heavy duty. We're talking about alkaline power cells. And right alongside that, under the light, issue is going to be lantern and lamp oil. You can even have a battery powered lamp. That's for being stationary, so you can watch what you're doing in your immediate area, to light the place where maybe you are camping out at if you have to go out of doors, or even if you're inside of a home or building and all of the electricity is out, a lantern will come in handy. And another thing, all in that same arena or area, would be candles. Candles are very inexpensive. If you keep them in the proper temperature, they will last a while. But watch out for the fire. You have to be mindful of fire. And candles, you can get tea lights, you can get votive lights, you can get stick candles, but the more the better as it relates to candles. And again, you want to have batteries. All of the types of batteries that you would need, high quality batteries as well, because you can get batteries in your store that can last 3 to 4 years. You just have to make sure that you are wise in how you store those batteries. Alright, you want to have knives, good hunting type of knives, not $3, $4, $5 knives that you bought at the dollar store. Not those. You want knives that have a nice blade, that are designed for durability, for the out of doors, for cutting fish, cutting anything that you need. You want to have some knives, some dependable knives. Now, one of the most important things that you can have for survival is going to be a gun. At least a gun or two. You need to be well trained in how to use that weapon. If you have children with you, you want to teach them at a very young age the responsibility of being around guns and how dangerous they are, and that they are tools, and that they should not be fooling with the guns, unless they are of that age, and then they are also of that maturity. Alongside the guns, of course, you want the ammunition for it. Number 9, toilet paper. You know you need toilet paper. I tell you, when I was in the Army, we would go out on bivouac, and we would have C rations before the MREs came out, meals ready to eat. And the C rations always had a small little pack of toilet paper. And those were commodities that people saved because it's not enough toilet paper. And you had to learn how to stretch that little bit of toilet paper when you were out in the woods. So people just collected this stuff. When you didn't have to go to the bathroom, you had some C rations, you would collect the toilet paper because you would get a little piece every time you got a box of C rations. And the other thing too would be matches. Water and storm proof matches. I own some of those myself. You can light the match and stick it under the water and it's still lit. So just something for you to think about. That's number 10, matches. You have to have matches, some form of fire, to include lighters. I put all of that under the same category. And you want to have some good lighters, not the little cheap $2 for $1 types of lighters, even though if you had several of those it's better than nothing. But you want to have big type of lighters, like lighters that you know that are going to be dependable. Okay, number 11, you want a compass. You want to know where you are and where you're going and how to get there. And you need to train yourself or have someone teach you how to navigate using a compass. Lensatic, if you will. Number 12, walkie-talkies. The more, the merrier. 2 sets, 3 sets, depending on how many people that may be with you or in your group. You want to have some very good walkie-talkies, not the $10 walkie-talkies. You want to invest some money because this is going to be long-term benefit. And make sure that also you have the proper batteries for the walkie-talkies. I pointed out batteries earlier. You want to make sure that you have all of the batteries that are necessary for every piece of battery operated equipment that you will be carrying with you if you have to leave your home. Okay, socks, number 13. You cannot have too many socks. When you have to leave your home and you're out in the world trying to survive in a wooded area, in an urban area, it does not matter wherever you are, Your feet are going to sweat, and after a period of time, you're going to start having skin slough off, and your feet are going to stink and so forth, and then your feet are going to be irritated. You need to wash your feet, dry your feet, and change your socks regularly. Okay? Socks. Heavy duty wool socks, thick cotton socks, preferably white socks. But it's not all that important when you're trying to survive. Whatever you can get your hands on at the time. Okay? Gloves. You need working gloves. Some thick, durable, work type gloves. I'm not talking about the cheap jersey gloves that tear up when you pick up a piece of wood. I'm talking about working gloves. Sometimes the ones that contain the studs that's made into them. But you want some heavy duty working gloves. And for everyone that's in your party, I would suggest that everyone has some gloves of their own, because you're going to be carrying things that you don't want to necessarily use your bare hands. And if you have to build something, a place to live in, a fort or what have you, you want to have some gloves, especially for women and children. Number 15, cannot overemphasize first aid kit. Do you know what you need in the first aid kit? It's a lot of things that you can carry in your first aid kit. And I would suggest to all of you that are watching and listening to me right now, learn first aid if you don't already know it. Learn CPR. Learn how to resuscitate a human being. Learn the fundamentals of helping someone survive. Learn how to put a splint on someone if they break their arm or leg. Learn how to put a tourniquet on if someone is bleeding. Okay? Profusely, especially. Learn these things, how to wash a wound and so forth. So your first aid kit, you're going to, of course, need some peroxide, hydrogen peroxide, some bandages. You're going to need some tourniquet material. You're going to need some band-aids. You're going to need some Vaseline. You're going to need some Q-tips. You're going to need some rubber gloves, surgical type gloves. You're going to need several things, some bandages and gauze, I pointed out. So make sure that you go through a list of things that you need for your first aid kit, because it's inevitable. It's going to happen where someone is going to become injured or cut, and you're going to have to perform first aid. Number 16, garbage bags. You want heavy duty garbage bags, because when you have heavy duty garbage bags, you don't have to worry about them bursting so easily as you do the $1, $2 dollar store types of garbage bags. You want the kind that if you had to, you could cut them in half and make a tarp. Cover yourself from the elements if it's raining outside and so forth, or make a little doorway if you're sitting inside some little crevice under a bridge or what have you. Heavy duty garbage bags. It's going to cost you a little bit more, but once you buy these things in advance, don't have to worry about it later. Okay? Number 17, paracord or cordage. What do you need cordage for? Cordage is nothing more than a braided rope, a durable braided rope that's going to last you for a while. Can't go wrong with having that, because you might have a tarp, and I would suggest that you have a tarp as well. And tarps usually come with little rivet holes in them. You can make tents and shelters out of tarp, and that cordage is going to be very valuable as a tool in making a fortress in or a place to live and sleep in. Okay? And 18, the last item on this particular list, is a decent backpack or duffel bag. Preferably something you can throw on your shoulders and carry. And I would suggest, if you have children with you, that you start teaching them early how to carry a book bag with supplies in it. Most children that go to public schools, private schools, Catholic schools, charter schools, or what have you, are accustomed to carrying books in a bag. But when you build out what many preppers call a bug out bag, and all that simply means or refers to is the fact that you may have to leave at a moment's notice out of your home because you might be displaced from their home. You need to have all of the necessary things for survival in those backpacks. And so you need to become skillful at packing them and making sure that everything that's required for your survival once you leave your residence or your place or your shelter Make sure that it's all there. And everyone in the family should have a bug out bag or a backpack. And as I said, not a cheap $3, $4, $5 backpack, but a decent backpack. If nothing is happening right now in terms of disorder and chaos in the world, this is the best time to start storing these things and preparing these things for what's going to happen in the future. Now, didn't want to scare you, didn't mean to scare you, didn't want to alarm you, but I'm just simply telling you the truth. You've got scales on your eyes, just like I have these glasses. Assume that these glasses are like this. They're covered up. Take the veil off your eyes and see things for how they really are. We are living in a time where the world has drastically changed and it's not going to get any better. I'm serious. As serious can be. We must be prepared for what's going to happen in the very not too distant future. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't care if you're rich, poor, working poor, dirt poor, middle class, so-called, it's going to happen. And it's going to affect all of us. That was all I had to say. My question to you as I part, have you ever started storing these things in your home? Extra water, extra toiletries, for you women, sanitary napkins, and things of this sort? Do you have canned goods, dry goods already stored away in case it happens? And it's going to happen. I'm saying in case. I'm just being nice, but it's going to happen. And you won't be able to just easily drive to the corner store or to a Kroger's or a Walmart or some other shopping mall, because they might be shut down. Other people may have beaten you there, and most of the supplies may be gone. But it behooves you to be prepared already. And you don't have to go around announcing what you have. Keep it between you and your family, and that's it. And then on top of that, can you really trust your family outside of your own home with your immediate family? Think on these things. I'm Brother Teacher. I'm Reginald. Let me know what you think. And let me know if you are prepared for the inevitable. And it's going to happen. Trust and believe. And the coronavirus, give it some time. Then you're going to see what's going to be the result of not only that, but what it's going to usher in as well across the planet. I'm out.